Greetings. Greetings this evening. I am in deep thoughts about a situation, and I have been asked to say a few words about this, and I'm compelled to say a few words, which might turn into more than just a few. Question: since when have we, as Black women, become the enemy of our men? It's like the critique of us never ends. It is all about straightening out the Black woman. Every man that has a podium is trying to school the Black woman and teaching us of our faults. Now, I know that the world have problems and issues, and it's not of God. The world says, my body belongs to me. I can do what I want with it. I have no fear. I'm really not a believer, and I don't believe in fairy tale God. We get that from the world, but as believers, as ambassadors of the Most High in this earth realm, we, women of Zion, we've come in out of Babylon, and we have put on our attire, our long dresses, and cover our head, and as we pray, and we walk through and concern about modesty, appearance, and we have not forgotten where we came from. And so when we fall, like we're going to the left, we have the power and the knowledge, the wisdom to pull ourselves back into power through the word. And we have learned our roles, and we want to play our roles. But there is a spirit that is tugging at us, is trying to keep us from the most important unit there is on this earth, and that is family. So this spirit is fighting us tooth and nail. It's like it's trying to wear us out from one another. Our men who are in the truth cannot see the women who are sitting there before them have changed and waiting patiently for them to act and want to be family, want to be in holy matrimony. But we find a lot of our men are schooling women in the world, talking about the women in the world as if they're referring to the women who have come out of the world, and about their attitudes and critiques about their fashions. And that's not us. We have overcome the world. Although we fall short, we know the truth. And so we don't want to go far. We pull ourselves back again, as I said, in power. So this being a enemy of the Black man and making him feel like we don't want him and we don't need him, that's not us. Okay, you have these young girls in the world who's looking for men, who's looking for support, who's looking for someone to take care of them. And so they look exciting. They're tempting and enticing to the men in the truth. And so they go after them and they talk to them and school them as if they're schooling the ones in the truth. The ones in the truth, they know the deal. They know what's up. But no one is trying to go after the ones in the truth. The ones in the truth, they are there, single, and waiting for the men to recognize. But the world is calling. The flesh is weak. And so the world calls them because many have other agendas. And we get the blame for that. We become the subject to avoid what's really happening. We become the escape, the scapegoat, so that they can have an excuse to do what they want to do with women in the world. I'm just saying this because they falsely accuse us. And we are taking a lot of verbal abuse from the world and from the so-called men of valor, men of righteousness. I have to address this as an older woman who can feel and see and hear what I read and read between the lines. Because there are a lot of untruths being told and said about us. We are the women of Zion sit in circles during fellowship and we talk about things that concerns us. And many want to marry, but men are not asking for their hands. Many said they're not ready. But yet they can bring this subject up that's about women not obeying, not following instructions. And many don't even want to be involved with a woman. Or perhaps it is the worldly women that they're concerned with. Or perhaps it is the young worldly women that they know that they can manipulate and control, which is also maybe more enticing than women who are older, who have children, who may not play games that they want to play. I'm just saying, maybe you need to check yourselves as we, women of Zion, constantly checking ourselves and asking ourselves, what is wrong? What are we doing wrong? I believe it's unfair what is being said about us and how we are being characterized. It's abuse. And we don't feel good about that. We're not doing that to you men. You find the women in the world that are upset saying men ain't no good and all that, but those are the worldly women having tantrums. We women are not going in on you men and saying things to make you feel bad about yourselves. You're falsely accusing us and not rightly dividing this thing. It is the time to address this, to put some closure on it. And closure cannot come unless the truth, the spirit of truth, is present. And many choose to overlook the truth for a rant on how they have been treated and playing tit for tat and get back. Like, who's sorry now? As young people, we were all confused about what we wanted and who we wanted and what we wanted someone to look like and to have. But the women in truth are not thinking that way anymore. The women of the world, they still have their ideas of what is a man of value is. Why are we doing this? What is causing this? There is no truth. People are afraid of the truth and accountability. That's all that is. Accountability. Stalling. The Most High can see what it is. And I tell you, if this does not stop, we will have him to answer to. Men, look at yourselves. And don't think that you're not being held accountable. And I would just like to say this. You never stop leading. Never stop leading. You never did. You just started leading to the left. And the women followed you. You like to accuse us of liquid crack for our scalps, our head. Who was the first to start that? Men with processes. Men process their hair before women put lye in their hair. There was a time when the men were socializing and their wives couldn't come. And I'm talking about dark-skinned black women. They couldn't come. Only lighter-skinned black women were socialized. And women was in their home. The wives was in their home taking care of 6 kids or more. And so the man was playing in bands and they had processed heads. So later on, the black women started to do the same thing when she began to get socialized, when her husband did bring her into a social setting. That was leadership. He led us into that. And then when I look at it, because I'm from the old school, I saw those things in the making. When the 60s hit and black was beautiful, pimp daddies came in on the scene telling black women how beautiful they were to put on blonde wigs, lashes, and hot pants and go out there and make him some money. And those young girls, they actually did what pimp daddy said because they came from poverty-stricken households. And the men led the women into those things. I'm not saying that it is all the men's fault, but I'm telling you that you never stop leading. You led us into negativity. We'd follow you into anything. Because that's how much we care for you. If it was original and you was leading it, we were there. Come on now. Give us more credit than that. Stop bashing us. It's not right. This is Sister Betty, and wisdom speaks.